Welcome to The Alternative Option, a Liberty Academy podcast. On this show, we tell the stories of different people at Liberty Academy and the journey they are on. Each episode highlights someone different here at Liberty Academy and their journey of growth, the challenges they've overcome, and the opportunities that have come from choosing a different path. Whether you're a student, parent, educator, or just curious about what makes Liberty Academy special, this show's for you. Today, I'm talking with Lydia, a senior here at Liberty Academy. To introduce our guests each week, I like to ask a teacher, or advisor as we call them here at the Academy, to write a quick blurb about the guest. Here's what Mrs. Goulding had to say about Lydia. This girl is the Pinterest and time management queen. Lydia is interested in anything craft related, finds projects in her spare time at home, and executes them perfectly at LA. Ask her about the sock monkeys she completed before showcase. Whatever task, Lydia gets it done. In addition, she loves reading realistic fiction novels with her book club every day. We are so proud of all she brings to the culture here at Liberty Academy. Thanks, Mrs. Goulding. All right, here's Lydia. Let's ride. Welcome to the Alternative Option Podcast, a Liberty Academy podcast. I am your host, Zach Osborne. This is our very first episode, and we have a very special guest, Liberty Academy student, Lydia. Hello, Lydia. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
Have you ever been on a podcast before?
I've never done any kind of like real YouTube video or anything like that. So very new.
Very exciting. So the way this will work is this is great. I get to explain the podcast to our audience and to you all in one. This is very
awesome.
Very meta, very aware. The way this podcast works is really it's just a chance for you to kind of tell your story at Liberty Academy and how maybe you changed or grew as a person and what school was like before. There's no wrong answers, but it's just a chance to help people understand what the Academy is and what our school's like and the kids that go here and tell our stories. And so that's why we're doing it. Before we get too far in, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? So what grade are you in?
I'm a senior this year.
And what, just kind of a little bit about yourself, like what do you like to do for fun? Do you have any hobbies or anything like that?
I do like crafts a whole lot, and I just got into reading the Bible and going to church on Sundays. But other than that, I just work. So not much I'm doing outside of school, really. So
we'll kind of just tell your story chronologically is kind of the best way, and we'll bounce around. So we'll see. So what did you think of Liberty Academy before you came here? What was like kind of your, what did you hear about it? What did you think it was like?
I think the stigma around Liberty Academy is pretty much, it's all bad kids. It's intimidating and it's scary. And, but it sounds super fun. You know, everyone says good things about it, but there is that stigma that every kid that goes here is a bad influence. So I had that thought in my head and I wasn't like, oh yeah, I want to come, but they invited me for a tour. So I said, heck yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about why did you end up coming to Liberty Academy? What was school like before you came here? Why do you think somebody said, hey, you should come check out the Academy, it'd be a good fit for you?
So really, there's two different reasons. One of them is I've always been kind of a slow learner. My whole life, even in elementary school, I was kind of slower than the other kids. And that really hurt me when I got into high school because they would just pass me along even if I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So that was a big thing for me. I got all F's in like all my classes. And so academically I wasn't doing too good, but also I was getting into trouble. And I think I had like 3 to 4 offenses. And then they were like, we got to take you to the, I guess, school district building and like have like a court discussion thing. Yeah. So they were like, you need to get into like a treatment thing and stuff like that. Or else you're going to get expelled if this happens again.
Holy moly. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
So you toured the Academy. Do you remember who gave you your tour here?
Mr. Maxwell.
And what was that like?
It was awesome. He's the funniest dude ever. And when I saw him, his smile was just so big. So it was a great time when I toured with him. Yeah, me and my mom kind of laughed about him because he's so funny. So
what did you think about coming here? Were you excited? Were you
excited?
Nervous?
Super excited. And my parents were as well. They were really, really surprised that there was something like this out there for kids that really struggled academically and even socially. So yeah, this was awesome to my whole family. They thought it was great.
And what was your first day like, your first couple days like?
It was kind of lonely. I can't lie. The kids kind of have their own cliques and they're in with each other already. But when you're new, people don't like to venture out and talk to the new kids much. So I was a loner for the first week or so until I started getting out there myself. I'm like, okay, no one's going to approach me. So I got to approach some people. And then I got some friends.
And what did you think the teachers were like when you first started here? What was your relationship like with the advisors? What did you think talking to them? What did that feel like?
Super, super inclusive. Like everybody was cool talking with everybody. I could walk up and have a conversation with any teacher. They're welcome. They like having conversations with the kids, which makes me really feel welcomed. And I've like made or built a really good relationship with some of these teachers. They're like my second moms almost, like Miss Kelly and Miss Golding. They feel like family.
Was it like that before you came here? Were there any teachers? What were your relationships like with teachers?
Not at all. Not at all. Here, like we're talking all the time about what we did over the weekend and what we're doing next weekend and just stuff like that.
So you've been here at the Academy for a while now and you've done a lot. What are some things you've done here that you're really proud of? Or like, what are just some different projects or activities you've done here?
Probably, I did a chunky knit blanket, which I was super proud of because I started it last year and never finished it. And I was like, well, I have all this yarn and it was very expensive. So I just jumped right back into it and actually got it done in about a week. So that made me feel really, really good.
Had you ever done anything like that before?
No, it was my first time.
So how did you learn it?
I went on YouTube. That's where I learned most of the stuff is I go on YouTube and I'm like, how do you do this? Also sewing. That's a new development recently. I just got another sewing machine, which is it's like new and has all the new gadgets and stitches. So that's been super cool learning how to use that.
And what does that feel like what did it feel like when you finished your blanket?
Super accomplished. Just feeling really good about yourself and confident. Like, oh, I really can do anything I put my mind to. Yeah.
When you look back at your time here at the Academy so far, like, did you ever feel like there was like a breakthrough or a big moment where you kind of like got it or turned the corner or anything like that? Or was there any like big moments?
I can definitely say I can't think of a specific moment where things changed, but I will say that within the last like year or even like 6 months or so, I've seen incredible growth in myself. And I look at some things that I used to do and I'm like, I would never do that today. Like even when I was here last year, I'm like, I would never do that today.
What do you mean by that? Like
probably making fun of kids or laughing in kids' faces and also stuff at home. Like I keep my room super clean and last year it was just cluttered and dirty. And I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of just maturing a little bit.
Isn't that funny when it's like you kind of like find like a system or organization, or you like find success somewhere, like kind of like bleeds into other part of your life?
For sure.
Like what has life been like for you outside of school? Like
it's been good. It's been very organized. Since I don't have all this pressure and stress like I would at the regular high school doing all the academics like social studies and science and stuff, I have a lot more freedom outside of school to do really what I want. And me and my mom have built a better relationship because of that, because I held a lot of resentment against her because she, Lydia, your grades are this, every day. And I'm like, well, I don't really know what to do about it. So it's just been a lot more organized and I have more time to do what I want to do.
What's life for you like outside of school now? Because I know like before you came here, like I know now like you have a job, you have all kinds of things you do. You've gotten involved in a church and some different things like that. What was it like before you came here and like your life, your personal life, your life outside of school before you came here and kind of now, what is it like?
I'd probably say I was just a very troubled kid. Like I'd sneak people into the house and I hid a lot of stuff from my mom and lied to her a lot and my dad and probably just like hiding out in my room, not really wanting to talk to anybody. And then now I value those relationships with my family, like my dad and my mom, and I want to be completely honest with them. I feel like the relationship feels more genuine when you're honest with somebody. So I started to do that. And when my mom's home, I hang out with her in the living room or whatever, and it feels good. And we go out together for dinner and what else?
That's really cool. Why do you think, like what changed? Like I know like the school you went to changed, but like
I think as soon as I was able to kind of venture out and do some self-work on myself, that's what I focused a lot about. I think these last few bursts, I've been focusing a lot about self-work and journaling and coping mechanisms and stuff like that. And I think that because I've had that opportunity to do that here, it's helped me in my life at home.
When you look back at your time here, is there something you're really proud of that you've done or been a part of? Or?
Probably leadership. I'm glad that I'm in the leadership group, just trying to better the school and figure out how we can become more of a community and more, come together more. Also, probably coming to Christ and just accepting that he is real. Yeah, because I struggled with religion. I had some religious trauma, and going from religious trauma to believing in God and Christ and everything like that, it changed the way I thought about religion and the way I thought about other people that believed in religion and stuff like that.
How did you end up doing the leadership stuff?
So actually, Max came to me. He came to me and was like, hey, we have this paper and we're writing a bunch of people's names down and we're going to pick a few people for leadership. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And they kind of they didn't want like 3 people that were in the same friend group, because that's kind of just getting 3 people in one kind of perspective, or you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they took people that were in different kind of cliques and were friends with different people and had different experiences and put them into leadership so we could all get feedback from one another that were in different positions.
And what did that feel like to get asked? Like,
it felt good. It felt like motivating almost. Like it just made me feel like, oh, okay, like I could do this.
Do you think old Lydia would have ever thought something like that? Would you be on the leadership team at school or something like that?
I think that if I was, I'd sit in the corner and not say anything.
Yeah. And yet now I feel like you're a student here who's very empowered and you speak up and you speak your mind and you have opinions and you're not afraid to stand up for issues. And that's something that's really cool to see. So if, let's say a student was thinking about coming to Liberty Academy, what would you tell them about our school? What advice would you give them?
Probably don't be intimidated, number one, because I was very intimidated when I came here, and enjoy it, because a lot of our new kids are just like, I can't believe I have to be here. And it's like, well, you could be at the regular high school getting Fs in all your classes. This is a way different experience. You get to branch out and learn what you want to learn, and they're not taking the chance. So if you're here, take the chance to learn whatever you're passionate about or discover what you're passionate about.
So what's next for you after you're a senior? What are your plans after high school? Do you know yet?
I have been looking at some great jobs. I've been doing some great job research.
You're talking about great jobs.
Yeah, KC.
Organization.
Yeah. And I did some research on that and I applied. I have yet to reply back to them, but I think I'm going to go into the direction of kind of on-job training and stuff like that.
What kind of jobs?
I'm thinking I kind of liked the EKG technician because they make decent money, and it's still in the nursing, like it's in that vicinity a little bit. And my mom's a nurse, so I kind of wanted to do something like her a little bit, or a dental assistant.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are lessons, what are values that maybe you've learned here that you hope to carry on in your life after high school, as you enter the adult world? Probably
be kind to everybody, and even if it's really hard, and don't just help out your friends, help out people that you may not like very much, and lend them a hand when they need it. Yeah. Cause I used to hold a lot of resentment, and I still do. I'm still working on that, but I used to just be a very angry person and be angry at everybody. So
thank you so much for sharing and being so open and honest.
Of course.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I'm all good. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Okay, well, so will conclude our episode of the Alternative Option, a Liberty Academy podcast. If you like these stories or you want to hear more conversations like this, you should subscribe, because we're going to keep making these with students, former and current, as well as staff members, to just help people better understand our school and what we're all about. So with that, thanks, Lydia. And what are you going to do next? What do you got planned for the rest of your day? Well, I was kind of in the middle of my Bible study with Cadence, but I'm just going to read. We just finished Matthew, so we're starting Mark. We just started Mark, so we're going to read that, a few chapters of that. Yeah. I think that's it. And then I'll have reading with Miss Golding and then check in. So yeah. Great. Good little day. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Lydia. Thank you. Thank you to Lydia for joining me today. Thank you to CT for creating our theme song. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes. I hope you enjoyed today's interview and gained some insight about what makes Liberty Academy a unique place. If you like this episode, be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss another episode. If you know someone who might enjoy these conversations, share the podcast with them. Until next time, thanks for listening, and remember, there's always a different path.